The fact that I'm even having to respond to this is so sick, twisted, and insane. This is disgusting. Anybody that knows me knows I'm not that type of person. I am the furthest thing from what you called me.
We got more big news for the unemployed. So there's a major scandal going on that a lot of people think could spell the end of the popular internet influencer group called FaZe Clan. Now, FaZe Clan, I believe it started off as a group of video game streamers, and then it became more of an influencer group, live streaming and whatnot, and there's a lot of members of it. Recently, there has been an inexplicable exit and bleeding of members, long-standing members, and now it's coming to light why. Apparently, one of the members, according to at least one other member, a whistleblower, how do I say this, fancies women who are statutorily illegal to fancy. Now, before I get into this, because I'm going to break it down, I don't know much about FaZe Clan. Obviously, I heard of it. This is not totally my field, but anybody who knows me, if there's views to be had, I'm not letting that view train leave without me having a fucking seat on it. But let me tell you why I think that's actually a good thing, because a lot of people that follow this, they get emotionally invested and they play favorites. They have favorite characters, and they can't really give you a proper third-party critical analysis. To me, I have no connection to any of these motherfuckers. I could care less. I'm gonna lay out the facts for you, and I'm gonna give you my exact analysis. You might actually be surprised by my analysis here. But before I get into it, if you're really into this group and I'm saying something and you come to me with, well, actually, bro, you're wrong about this because 2.5 years ago, FaZe Fuckface said this to FaZe Jerkoff. I don't give a fuck. If you were lost at sea in a fucking kayak, it would take 183 days before anybody knew you were even missing. That being said, let's get into it. So here's what happened. And there's a bunch of videos I'm going to show you because this is heating up. It's heating up quick. There's one member named FaZe Rain, and he left FaZe Clan. Eventually, he started to allude to the fact that there was a chomo in FaZe Clan. Now, another member named FaZe Banks, who's probably the only guy I was familiar with before looking up this story and doing my research, because he had a lot of backlash, because apparently he did a crypto rug pull. Just a chock full of fucking upstanding citizens, this group. Then you had another guy, his name was Black Boy Max, and he left inexplicably. Like he was one of their more popular guys. He left a few months back. He never told anybody why. Now people are going back in time saying, oh, this was probably why. So apparently these people knew for a while. But for some reason, this FaZe Banks character assumed that this FaZe Rain character was referring to him. And he got defensive and he made a video defending himself preemptively. And then the guy FaZe Rain had to actually come out and clear up exactly who he was talking about. Another member named FaZe Temper, who is apparently close to being a founding member or was one of the original members. And he made a video clearing it up.
Dude looks me in my eyes and says, bro, I'm not gonna lie, I had a threesome with two 16-year-olds. I'm like, bro, what? Like, how could you tell me that? After I'm telling you the 3 rules I have to why I'll never have your back as a friend. On my mother's heartbeat, that's what he said. He looked me in the eyes and he said that. I told Banks and I told Apex immediately. I even told Lee Trink. I have text with fucking Lee Trink from then. It was right before everything fucking blew up with the SPAC and FaZe went public and whatnot. And he dropped me off home and we haven't talked since. That's why you guys are always like, bro, why don't you play CS with him? Why don't you play this with him? I don't want to say it, bro. I feel fucking bad. I feel bad. I know it's wrong. I know what he did is wrong, but I just hope people can understand like what it's like to have somebody you've known for half your life that you love, that you hope that your kids would have been friends and shit like that. Like, I don't know. It made me sad, bro. Broke my fucking heart. I didn't even want to bring this up, Banks. I did it. I didn't even want to bring your name up in this, bro. But you made that video. I don't know if we're about to watch it a little bit, but it's just, you lied in that video. You're making shit up. Bro, even that tweet that you posted under, I screenshot it in case you delete it because I just don't trust you, bro. And I don't trust what you said there. You said some bullshit at the end of that tweet. What'd you say? You said, here, I'll pull it up here. Like you said, call concluded and Tommy didn't admit to it. Yes, he did. And you called me and you said, bro, this is so fucking bad. This is so fucking bad. He said he's gonna kill himself if this shit ever comes out. And that's why I feel extra fucking bad, bro. That's why I feel extra fucking bad. You told me he would kill himself if it came out. And you guilted me into not doing it. You guilted me into not saying it because you're like, if he kills himself, that's gonna be on you. And you made me feel horrible for that. So I don't know what the fuck to do, bro. And I had an epiphany yesterday. I'm like, bro, why have I been holding this information for this guy for 2 years? But I know he doesn't give a fuck about me. He doesn't give a fuck about anything that happened. It's just I felt bad. Why do I always feel so bad for people, bro? And I don't ever want to make it about myself at all because it's not. It has nothing to do with that. But bro, what are you doing dropping a 10-minute video acting like I'm talking about you? Yeah, bro, people are tweeting at you. I don't know why they're tweeting at you. And then you're sending me fucking tweets, a kick champ saying it's Banks. Like, what the fuck do I have to do with that?
Then there's a short clip of this FaZe Rain character and this FaZe Banks character having a little bit of a powwow over this.
And I don't know what to do or what to say at this point. But all I can say is, I mean, if it hasn't been said enough already on this call, stay away from underage girls, boys and girls. We have a lot of young men watching this stream right now. It's clearly and obviously not worth it. We're talking about a fucking company and a brotherhood that was built over the course of how long, Rain? Fucking 15 years, more or less, right? And it's fucking clearly coming to an end, you know? And it's I don't know. And I don't know what to do.
Now this FaZe Temper character rebukes this at the end, and we're gonna get to that. I'm gonna show you that video because it's very interesting. It just came out. It actually came out as I'm recording this. But if you listen carefully to the original video I showed you of that guy FaZe Rain, he's alluding to the fact, well, not even alluding, he's admitting to the fact that he knew and he confronted this guy FaZe Banks about it, and the guy FaZe Banks pressured him into not saying anything. So not only does this guy snatch more rugs than fucking Pete Clemenza, he's covering for a guy that's admitted to having a menage a trois with women who could probably still use a kid's coupon to get a free fucking ice cream cone. So it's just disgusting. They're all disgusting. So after FaZe cries like a bitch, aired out FaZe Diddler, after FaZe Scam Artist tried to cover it up, he posted a tweet after that video. This is FaZe Rain. He wrote, "I feel horrible, man. I wish it never happened. I'm sorry I didn't speak out sooner. But I hope you can understand that it's hard. I love this guy. I was a huge fan of him growing up. I didn't know what to do. Part of the reason I left FaZe was because of it. I couldn't be side by side with someone who did something like that. I wanted to speak, but just felt so fucking bad, and eventually I just couldn't take it anymore. Love you whether you understand me or not." Now you'll see some of the responses here. You're definitely making it too much about yourself and your emotions to deflect from the fact that you knew about some weird shit and decided to look the other way. It's cool to come clean, but that's really what it was. If you knew about it for so long, but never came out, you're just as guilty as him, even if that's true. Nice attempt at blackmail. And then you got people defending this FaZe Temper. Like this guy. Never become friends with Rain. He'll come with the BS allegations for money. And that's where we get to the next video of the guy FaZe Temper defending himself. But before that, where we are now, let's say everything that this guy, and by the way, all this shit is alleged, but let's say, for the sake of argument, everything that this guy FaZe Rain is saying is true. What does that say about him and the other guy FaZe Banks? Not only that, you cannot tell me this group apparently has a lot of people in it. And it got to the point where people were leaving the group and nobody knew why. Nobody was giving an explanation. So, and if you see them on the videos talking to each other, they're very womanly, they're very feminine. So you could tell they're all fucking yentas. So they've all talked about it with each other. So everybody knows. Even if it's just an allegation, all of them know. I guarantee it. Any of these fucking people try and come out and feign ignorance, it's bullshit. They're all gakyarons. Look at them. They're trying to save their own ass. And he aired this FaZe Banks character out. And if it's true, bro, you're complicit. Because guess what? These people don't just stop doing that. As much as they tell you, I'm not doing that anymore, they don't fucking stop. It never happens. It's an addiction. It's a sickness. And then now this other guy wants to be a little baby and say, I'm so sorry I didn't speak out. I didn't do this. Be a fucking man. Just be a man. You fucked up. You took too long. You wanted to protect your friend. That's understandable. But crying like a little bitch about it afterwards with a little heart. I mean, what the fuck happened to men? As TS would say, whatever happened to Gary Cooper? But this is the generation we're in right now. So even if this is true, there's no sympathy from me for this FaZe Rain character, and especially not for FaZe Crypto Scammer. To me, they're all equally jerk-offs that I wouldn't piss on if they were on fire. Now, the guy Temper, obviously being fully accused of this, which is like the worst thing that you can paint somebody as. But usually where there's smoke, there's fire. He comes out and claims that this was kind of an extortionary tactic. Take a look at his explanation. I'll tell you what I think, and then leave in the comments what you think is actually going on here, because it's very interesting. And also, don't forget to hit like and subscribe.
The fact that I'm even having to respond to this and to that my name is in the same breath as the word pedophile is so sick, twisted, and insane. This is disgusting. Anybody that knows me knows I'm not that type of person. I am the furthest thing from what you called me. And I will never be that person. It's so mind-blowing that someone that I really built a brotherhood with, someone that I really considered a brother, that I invited to my baby shower, that I always looked after and took care. And then when you were going through your darkest days, I was there for you and I was making sure that you were good. When you were in a wheelchair for 2 years and like I was so gutted at the fact that like you couldn't walk again. And then all of a sudden you were able to walk again. And I was the happiest person in the room. There wasn't a single soul that was happier for you than me. Brother, I have known you since you were 14 years old, talking to me about when you were suicidal in these Skype chats, and I was there for you then. And I've been there for you this whole time. You talked about how I rated you the other day, even though when you first brought this up a year ago, and I believe that you brought it up just for money purposes, that you wanted money out of FaZe. Like you stated that a year ago in the conversation with me, Banks and Apex. You stated if you don't get paid that, you're going to air this out. That is blackmail. This is not like, you know who I am. You know the type of person I am. I am not what you called me. I'm fucking gutted, bro. And I'm pissed that you even put my name in that light, because now all I care about is my family, bro. Like my biggest concern is my family, my wife and my kid. Now my kid has to grow up and see this, then see that his father is in the same, that my name is in the same light as what you just called me. It's fucking sick. When I bring my son to school, right, and the other parents get to figure out who his dad is, and now they're associating me with that word. You don't even understand the levels of damage that you just inflicted into my life, into my family's life, into everything that I built. I have put my heart and my soul into FaZe Clan in ways that you and Banks and Apex know more than anybody. I brought you guys on because you guys deserved it, and I felt like you deserved it, and I broke bread with you completely. Split the company with you and made sure that you were good. And even at times where like you were trashing the company, I still stood out for you, and I still said he should still get paid. And I was looking out for you, you know? And I wanted you, and even throughout all this stuff, like in a way, I wanted you back in, even though you said this. And that just goes to show you my heart. You know, I'm disgusted by your actions, by the person you've become. You haven't always been this way. You're a really nice kid. I don't know what happened, what got into you.
Well, here's the problem, right? If you're an honest human being, there's really nothing you can do with this. You have two totally separate competing stories. In my mind, where there's smoke, there's fire. If the guy FaZe Bank, who's between these two, technically a third party, even though he's complicit in it, is telling the other guy, hey, don't say anything about this, he's threatening himself, and then the other guy doesn't do it, but the other guy eventually leaves, along with other members who, for some reason, would never explain why. Where there's smoke, there's usually fire. But here's the other thing. I'm going to tell you guys something a little personal. I was extorted once in my life, and it wasn't anything like this. It wasn't for this reason, but I was. So it's definitely a plausible thing, and it could happen from the person you're closest with. Like in my case, it could be a really close friend. And when it happens, you react a certain way, right? And in that video, the guy seems to me like he's truly heartbroken. And anybody who knows me knows I can get brutal when I'm upset. But in my situation, I was also overwhelmed with just fucking betrayal. Like the betrayal overtook the rage mostly. Like it's just a kick in the balls when it happens, especially when it's somebody you were like this with. And apparently that was their relationship. So his story to me is plausible. However, there's too much smoke. You got people leaving. You have stories here of a guy trying to cover up for him, but I expected to see a little bit more of a twinge of anger. And this guy, FaZe Banks, if it's a clear extortion, he should be angry too. It's his group. He's part of this group. It's his bread and butter. You see in the video, he talks about the group is probably dead now. So there's nothing you can really do with this. But I gotta tell you, usually in these situations, they just don't come out of thin air. There's too many moving parts here. And part of this guy, like, they're all pussified. It's just the generation. So you gotta see through all that. They're all fucking womenly. To me, I cannot, and I feel that I'm a very good judge of character, I cannot get over the feeling of him just dripping in sincerity and panic. It was almost like he was coming from a place of, yeah, bro, I did it, but you would go out and tell everybody and fuck my life up. Like, he was more upset in that direction. In my situation, nobody was accusing me of being a chomo. Like, that's a total different animal. Like, that should have you frothing at the mouth, wanting to ruin his life. That is literally the worst thing you could accuse another human being of. But here's the flip side. Usually with extortion, if the accusation is true, he probably should have just fucking paid him. So the fact that he didn't would be a point in his favor. But like I said, guys, when you have conflicting stories like this, there's just nothing you can do with it. I mean, I'll keep an eye on it for you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Till next time.